A powerful push for legislative reforms, women representation, and national security took center stage at the presidential villa as the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, hosted members of the National Assembly at a high-level dinner that quickly became a forum on the future of Nigeria's democracy. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde has this story.
At a time when national anxiety over education, insecurity and governance is rising, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, convened what she called a night for dialogue, not ceremony, gathering the Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, top legislators and senior members of the presidency. She opened the evening with a passionate warning about the threats facing Nigerian children, especially the girl child, describing recent events as an assault on the nation. She also raised alarm about the fate of boys trapped in the Almajiri system, saying deprivation leaves many vulnerable to extremist recruitment.
In the past few days, our nation has faced a lot of assault, especially as it concerns the future of the education of the girl child. The boys, on the other hand, through the Almajiri system, are deprived of basic necessities like food, clothing, and shelter under the guise of noble Islamic education. This deprivation opens them up to be lured into the wrong hands and the likelihood of being drafted into extremist groups in fake promise of a better life.
The dinner, she stressed, was aimed at building support for the reserved seats for women bill, a proposal, she says, will shape the nation's future and test the moral leadership of the 10th National Assembly. Taking the center stage, Vice President Kashim Shettima, himself a former lawmaker, praised the First Lady's leadership and called for deeper alignment between the executive and legislature. He described the current relationship under President Bola Tinubu as the most cooperative since 1999, crediting National Assembly alumni who today anchor the presidency.
This sense of purpose has been the foundation of our partnership. It is anchored in His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's understanding that no government can move forward without the National Assembly. And this belief is shared by all of us, privileged to sound around him.
He added that women's representation would strengthen legislation on national security, which remains the country's most urgent challenge. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio echoed that message, declaring that the insecurity crisis must be met with unity and firmness.
That the devil you see today in Nigeria, we shall soon see them no more. The Senate will send our decision to the House for concurrence. That we have decided to designate kidnapping in the country as a terrorist action. So it falls within the purview of terrorism and therefore must carry the maximum punishment of death.
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas insists that women must be central to national stability, arguing that empathy and inclusion are now indispensable to tackling insecurity.
The National Assembly is also considering a transformative reform that speaks directly to the women, peace and security agenda.
Adding political weight to the night, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, and APC National Chairman, Professor Nentawe Yilwatda, backed reforms that reflect Nigeria's changing realities.
So it's not just about ethnicity or about religion, but also about gender. So we've given ourselves another reason why we must pass this bill in conformity with the federal character of Nigeria. This bill before you, the National Assembly, if given and if passed, it will not just address issues that have to do with women, but you address some fundamental things that have to do with our homes.
Governors led by Imo State's Hope Uzodinma also rallied behind the women's bill, saying more women in government will strengthen policy making and social cohesion.
All of us in this room belongs to the interest that is being canvassed. Because either you are speaking for our mothers or they are speaking for our wives. And if that is the case, I'm almost certain that we are in agreement that women should be supported.
In the end, the First Lady's dinner became a national call to action for lawmakers to pass the Women's Bill, defend education, and work with the executive to secure the country. The First Lady says the bill will pass, if not today, then someday, but hopes the 10th Assembly will stand for women when it counts most. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.